Hi everyone, my name is Merritt. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reading like a Kardashian Jenner. So you might be wondering, what the hell is this video? Same. I'm a little bit nervous because I have no idea what I'm going to be reading in this video. We're actually going to figure that out together right now. And then throughout this vlog, you'll see my experience reading these books as well as doing Kardashian Jenner things. But we're going to try and live our best Kardashian Jenner life in this vlog. So hope you're ready for this one. I'm super excited about this idea. It was inspired by Booksandlala's Reading Like a VSCO Girl video. So if you haven't watched that one, go check it out. It is super fun and creative and just amazing. I love Kayla's channel. She is one of the most creative booktubers out there. And today I thought that I would take a lesson from her book and read like a Kardashian Jenner. So how this is going to work. I have done a lot of research about the Kardashian Jenners and in general reality TV stars, because originally this video was reality TV stars choose my TBR, but I could not find books anywhere that reality TV shows were posting on their Instagram or Twitter. It was really hard, so I decided to focus more on the Kardashian Jenners because I was actually finding books that they recommended and talked about on their social media channels. I did a lot of research, as I said. I went through their Twitter, I went through their Instagram, I did a whole lot. So today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I have found that the Kardashians have mentioned in some way, shape, or form on social media, and then we're going to be choosing the ones that interest me the most. And then throughout this video, you'll see me reading these books and the experience that I have. So the way I broke this up is by each Kardashian Jenner and what books that they read. So the first person that we're going to be talking about today is Kendall Jenner. Kendall was the most well-read from what I could tell, or the one that talked about books the most on her platforms. And I actually have a lengthy list to go through for this one. So buckle in. If I have any like social media clips where they actually posted about the book itself, I'll also reference that on the screen here for you to see. But the first book that I found was Become by Emery Allen. And it says, this is a collection of soft poems that I wrote while becoming for the ones who are doing the same. Okay, this is one that I'm definitely interested in. I would like to read more poetry, and that will just depend on if the library has it, as it will for most of these books, because I am not a Kardashian and I cannot afford to buy all these books. The next book is Animal Farm by George Orwell, which I have already read, so I'm not going to include that one in this video. Then we have The Complete Stories of Leonardo Carrington. So this one is about surrealist writer and painter Leonardo Carrington was a master of the macabre, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, of gorgeous tableau, biting satire, roguish comedy, and brilliant effortless flights of the imagination. Nowhere are these qualities more ingeniously brought together than in the works of short fiction she wrote throughout her life. So I actually don't know who Leonardo Carrington is. So it says, Leonardo Carrington was a British-born Mexican artist, surrealist painter, and novelist. She lived most of her adult life in Mexico City and was one of the last surviving participants in the surrealist movement of the 1930s. Carrington was also a founding member of the women's liberation movement in Mexico during the 1970s. Art and surrealism isn't necessarily something that interests me, so I don't know if I necessarily want to pick up this book. Also because I just didn't really know who this individual was before going through this TBR, but I'm not against reading it, and if I need an extra book to pick for my TBR, this one might be one of them. The next book that I want to talk about is The House Guest. And this one says, like those of Kafka, Poe, Leonardo Carrington, there she is again, or Shirley Jackson, Amparo Davila's stories are terrifying, mesmerizing, and expertly crafted. You'll finish each one gasping for air. With the acute psychological insight, Davila follows her characters to the limits of desire, paranoia, insomnia, and fear. She's a writer obsessed with obsession who makes nightmares come to life through the everyday. Loneliness sinks in easily like a razor-sharp knife. Some sort of evil lurks in every shadow. Delusion takes the form of strange and very real creatures. Okay, so this looks like a short story horror collection, which honestly, I'm really into. Let's add that one to my interested in list. Next, we have So Sad Today, which is another personal essay collection, which is very interesting. I didn't strike Kendall Jenner as someone who read a lot of personal essays, but I don't know her. I don't know what her interests are in. And so it's very interesting that she is into so many short essay collections, from what I can tell, because that is something that I definitely don't read. So maybe it's something that I should try to read if Kendall Jenner likes him so much. So this book says, Melissa Broder always struggled with anxiety. In the fall of 2012, she went through a harrowing cycle of panic attacks and dread that wouldn't abate for months. So she began So Sad Today, an anonymous Twitter feed that allowed her to express her darkest feelings and which quickly gained a dedicated following. In So Sad Today, Broder delves deeper into the existential themes she explores on Twitter, grappling with sex, death, love, low self-esteem, addiction, and the drama of waiting for the universe to text you back. This one also sounds really good. Wow, Kendall. The title that intrigues me most from the rest of my list is How to Cure a Ghost by Vahira Rosen. This one says, a poetry compilation recounting a woman's journey from self-loathing to self-acceptance, confusion to clarity, and bitterness to forgiveness. Following in the footsteps of such category killers as Milk and Honey and Whiskey Words and A Shovel Eye, this poetry book is a collection of her thoughts as a young, queer, Muslim woman navigating the difficulties of her intersectionality. Simultaneously, this compilation unpacks the contentious relationship that exists between her and her mother, her platonic and romantic heartbreaks, and the cognitive dissonance felt as a result of being so divided among her broad spectrum of identities. This one sounds incredible. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm definitely adding that one to my TBR if I can get it. Next, we're gonna move on to Khloe Kardashian. Now for Khloe, I found 3 different books that she talked about on her social media in some way, shape, or form. So we're going to look at all of those 3 and see if they interest me. So the first that she recommends is The Power of Positive Thinking. This book is written with the sole objective of helping the reader achieve a happy, satisfying, and worthwhile life. The precursor to The Secret, The Power of Positive Thinking has helped millions of men and women to achieve fulfillment in their lives. In this phenomenal bestsellers, Dr. Peel demonstrates the power of faith in action. With the practical techniques outlined in this book, you can energize your life and give yourself the initiative needed to carry out your ambitions and hope. Interesting. Okay, so this one looks like it touches a bit on spirituality, so I don't think that I'm interested in this one. So let's see if Khloe has any other recommendations. The next book Khloe discusses is The Unbearable Lightness of Being. It's about the story of a young woman in love with a man torn between his love for her and his incorrigible womanizing and one of his mistresses and her humbly faithful lover. This magnificent novel juxtaposes geographically distant places, brilliant and playful reflections, and a variety of styles to take its place as perhaps the major achievement of one of the world's truly great writers. I'm not mad about that one. It looks like it's literary fiction, so we will add that one to the possible TBR. Next is one that I already know that I'm interested in reading, and that is Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. So I am interested in this one because I want to learn how to reorganize my life. So if my library has that one, I'm definitely reading this. Moving on to Courtney, she also had 3 books to reference. I already read one of them, which is The Great Gatsby, so that will not be included in this TBR. The first one that she talks about is The 4 Agreements, and this one is also focusing on spirituality, so I don't think I'm interested in it as well. And the last book that Courtney suggested was 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm not gonna read this one. So we're gonna move on to Kim, and her first recommendation is They're Playing Our Song. And I believe that this one was actually a PR post, so I don't know if this is actually a recommendation by her, but we're gonna see what it's about and then decide. So it says, Grammy and Academy Award-winning songwriter Carol Bayer-Sager shares the remarkably frank and darkly funny story of her life in and out of the recording studio, from her fascinating relationships to her collaborations with some of the greatest composers and musical artists of our time. Sorry, Carol, I'm not interested in this. The next book that Kim recommends is Embraced by the Lights, and this is another spirituality book, so I am again not interested. Kim also recommends Whoa Baby by Kelly Rowland, but this is about motherhood and being a new mom, which I am not. So again, I am not interested in this book, which is weird that so many of Kim's books just don't correlate with my interest. And I know that the point of this video is to read new perspectives and to read like a Kardashian, but I'm not truly interested in any of these books and I don't want to force myself to read them for a video, so sorry. Next, we're going to be talking about Kylie Jenner, who is the last person on this list because Chris, I believe, recommended the same books that Kim did. And Kylie says to read Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard, and everyone knows what this is about. I actually have read this book a long time ago, and I have seen the TV show, I believe at least 2 times, so I am interested in reading this, and I'm going to definitely be reading this. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the possible books for this TBR, we are going to go through and pick 3. So because I want to choose from a variety of Kardashian Jenners, I'm going to pick one from Kylie, one from Kendall, as well as one from Khloe. Okay, so it looks like the library has The House Guest, so I will be reading that one from Kylie. I am a bit disappointed because I really was interested in How to Cure a Ghost, but unfortunately, they don't have it at the library and I don't know if I want to purchase that right now, so maybe this is a book that I will add to a future TBR or just read later on. And then based on Khloe's recommendation, we will be reading The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. And lastly, we will be reading Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard based on Kylie Jenner's recommendation. So that's going to be my TBR for this video. I will check back in with you guys when I actually have all 3 of these books, and then we'll explore reading them together. Hi guys, so it's officially Sunday, which means that we're starting our journey of reading like a Kardashian for this week. I feel like this video has already been super long and I just started reading today, so sorry, but not really. I have actually started my first book for this reading vlog, which was Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard, and I have listened to about 60% of the audiobook, and unfortunately I didn't get to do any like Kardashian like activities today, but that's because I came back home from about a 3-hour drive, so I just ended up listening to the audiobook half the time and I got decently far into it. I honestly do really enjoy the audiobook because it feels like I'm back inside the TV show, which is weird, but like I'm living for it. I am loving all the drama. And in case you didn't know what Pretty Little Liars was about, I'll explain it to you right now. This book follows 4 young girls named Aria, Spencer, Hannah, and Emily. I almost forgot about Emily and she's my fave. Oops. And they were all friends with this young girl named Allison in 7th grade, but then one night Allison disappears. So they're becoming entwined again once they start getting secret messages from someone named A in high school. So it's very drama filled and it's very good at honestly building suspense. Like I honestly didn't expect this book to have really good quality, but so far I am hooked. I'm just pleasantly surprised by how good this book still reads even now. And I really want to finish it and know what happens. And I'm just scared that the book's gonna end on a huge cliffhanger and I'm gonna have to read like all like 13 books or something crazy like that. There's a lot of books in this series and I'm just scared of that kind of commitment. So I'm trying not to do that. This book definitely feels like a Kardashian Jenner book. This book was recommended by Kylie Jenner, and I think that this book really does suit her personality and just her style of things that she enjoys. So I think that this is a perfect example of what a Kardashian reads, and I'm excited to finish it and see maybe why Kylie liked it, but I already like it, so I know that I'm gonna probably like it in the end. I think right now I would rate this 4 stars. It's good, it's a little bit problematic for what it is, but I also have to acknowledge that it was written, you know, many years ago. And it's very gripping, it reads really well, it reads like it's about high schoolers, and I just feel like I really know all these characters, and I don't know if that's because I watched the TV show before and I've read the book before, but it has just been so long, and I still feel really connected to them, so I think that's really, really great. That's all I'm gonna say for now, and I will probably talk to you guys tomorrow because I don't foresee myself reading any more of this tonight, but I will see you then. Hey guys, it's Monday, so I thought I would give you guys a few little updates as to what I'm doing in my Kardashian Jenner reading journey. So I have made a little bit more progress on Pretty Little Liars. I want to say maybe I'm 70% through. I think I have like 2 hours left of the audiobook and I'm still liking it, but it's becoming more problematic as I go through, which is, you know, the point, because the story follows a bunch of high schoolers who are doing nothing but lying, basically, and doing things that they probably shouldn't be in high school. So one thing that I'm really disliking is there's a teacher-student relationship, and it's becoming more developed now, and I just think it's gross. I don't like it when there's an imbalanced power dynamic in a relationship. So that's something that I didn't remember that was in there that I really don't like, especially in a young adult book. I don't know, it just feels really messy to me. I also don't like how there's cheating and there's intentional cheating. So there's just a lot of things that happen in this book that are bad. And yes, it adds to the drama, but it's not good to read about. Like, I don't like the actions that these characters are doing. And I know maybe I'm not supposed to like these characters, but I just wish that there was a little bit more healthy drama, if that's even possible. I don't know. I don't know what I would say that I wish these characters would do, but like, they're just kind of annoying me in how terrible of people they're being. But again, that's the point. So like, can I really complain about that? I don't know. My next update is that I actually had an idea for something that I could do for this week that is more Kardashian-like. I thought that maybe I could find a picture that one of them posted on Instagram and try to recreate it. I don't know if that will go well. I don't know how people will respond to it on my actual Instagram. And we're just gonna go through and see what picture I could maybe create and do that later this week as well as post it. And then I was also thinking of other activities that I could do, so I'm definitely going to try and do my makeup and my hair and maybe paint my nails or something, because I was looking up what the Kardashians do. My search history is gonna be really bizarre after this video because I'm just searching what the Kardashians are doing with their time, and something that they like to do is get their nails done, get their makeup done, and obviously I can't pay a professional to do all that, but I can do it myself, right? So look forward to that this week, perhaps, if I'm not too lazy. But yeah, let's just go through their Instagram and see if there's a picture that I want to recreate. So we're going to start with Kim because she's one of the most iconic Kardashians in my opinion. Okay, so I kind of like this one. It's a video actually, oh god, that's terrible quality. It's a video actually, but I'll insert a picture or a screen capture of it here. But it's basically Kim lying on the floor in her pajamas and she's like on the phone. And I think I could do that maybe with a book, so it's more Bookstagram-esque, but that is definitely an option. All right, so let's now go to Kourtney because Kourtney's my fave. We could perhaps do something like this picture here where Kourtney is sitting on like a little thing all balled up. And again, I could make that more Bookstagram-esque by having a book in my hands. All right, let's go to Kendall. I feel like if anyone's gonna have a Bookstagram picture to copy, it will be Kendall because she actually holds books on her Instagram. As you probably saw in the beginning of this video, she was the only one who was actually really photographed with books. We could perhaps do one like this where she has a bunch of Polaroids. I do have a Polaroid camera, so I could take pictures on my Polaroid of books and things and post that on my Bookstagram. All right, so I think that we have quite a few options now. So I will try and decide what picture I want to actually do. And then hopefully I'll be able to record myself actually creating that picture. Again, I film on my phone and I take pictures from my Bookstagram on my phone. So I might have like terrible iPad quality video that I can insert. And we'll probably do that tomorrow because I don't know if I'm gonna be in the shop myself and I don't wanna do my makeup today, so I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow and it'll just be a great time. So that's something Kardashian-esque that we're gonna be doing, and I hope you stay tuned and see how that unfolds because I honestly don't know and I'm really nervous about it. So that's my update for now. I might update y'all later tonight because I probably will finish Pretty Little Liars. I'm really, really close, so if I have the time to, I definitely want to get that done. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so it's Tuesday and I have a few updates for you guys. I have officially finished Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. I actually finished it last night and I just never got a chance to update you guys. But I think I'm going to give this book 3 stars. I had a fun time reading it, but it was a lot more problematic than I remember it being initially. I think that this book is, you know, very representative of what a Kardashian would read because there's lots of drama filled within these books. And I think that this book series really does capture the essence of Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it reads like reality TV. So it was a lot of fun while I read it, but it did have a lot of problematic aspects that I did not enjoy. Another thing that I didn't really like about this book is that it felt like a huge setup for the rest of the series, which is fine, but I just didn't feel like this book had an ultimate conclusion. I didn't really feel that I gained anything from reading just this one book. I feel like I would have to read the entire series to actually feel satisfied as a reader. So that was something that disappointed me as well, but I really did have fun reading this, and I think that Kylie Jenner definitely does have taste in books because this was a fun time. All right, so now I am going to try and recreate a Bookstagram picture to post this week. So I decided to do the one with Kendall Jenner's Polaroid pictures, which I'll put here. I have my Polaroid right here. I haven't used this in probably a year, so we're gonna see if I remember how to use it. It shouldn't be that hard, right? You just press a button. But I'm very excited about it. I think I'm going to do different books as like the Polaroid pictures. And then within those pictures, I'm going to include the books from this TBR. So I wanna see if anyone can guess like what books I'm reading for this video. Not that anyone cares, but I personally think it's fun. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt, and that's the kind of content that I like to see. So I'm gonna go try and recreate that now, and I'll update you guys in a bit. So while I was doing that Instagram picture, I actually got about 45 minutes into the audiobook for the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. So far, I think that I might actually stop listening to the audiobook and pick up the manga instead because I feel like I'll absorb more of the information this way. I am hearing what the narrator is saying in the book and I'm grasping some of the concepts, but I don't know if I feel like I can't apply these to my life or if I feel like I already have like a very non-cluttered sense of living, if that makes sense. Like, I've gotten rid of a lot of my clothes, I've gotten rid of a lot of my books, I've gotten rid of like most of my material things that I feel that I don't have any attachment to. And I just don't know if I'm like gaining anything from listening to the audiobook. It's only about 5 hours long, so I'm definitely going to finish it anyways. But I think that I might be able to absorb a little bit more if I read it physically than if I just listen to it. So I may do that, I may not, we'll see. I just wanted to update you guys and tell you what I thought about the book so far. I'm learning a few things, but I think that I'll save my overall lessons until the very end of the book. That way it's more clear and concise what I want to say about it. As you could probably see from the footage that I just included, I struggled a lot creating this Instagram post, and I'm a little bit nervous to see what other people think. I'm going to post it tomorrow and see what people think is on my secret TBR. I don't know if anyone's gonna respond to it, but hopefully someone will. So all the pictures that I took, I tried to find stuff that they had in common. So I did a few new releases. I did Winter Count and Atomic Love. So maybe people think I'm reading like new releases. I also included a bunch of white books. So maybe people think that I'm reading books of a certain color. And so maybe that'll throw some people off. I don't think anyone will actually be able to guess what I'm trying to do just because it's so bizarre and different. But I'm excited to see if people have any guesses about what I was doing. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with one of the Instagram pictures that I took. I had to take a lot. My Polaroid battery died and I was so worried that I wasn't going to be able to replace it because I didn't have any AA batteries. But luckily I had like some string lights that I just took the batteries out and replaced it in the Polaroid and it started working. But I like struggled for about 15 minutes trying to replace the batteries, which was just chaotic and was not having a good time with that. So I'm very happy that I was able to get a picture out of this, and now I'm going to edit it to fit my Bookstagram theme, which is more doodle based now, and I'm really loving that. So I want it to fit in that aesthetic and then also sort of still match Kendall's original post. So I will go edit that and I'll update you guys later with how it came out. Hey y'all, it's Wednesday, and so I have a few updates for you guys on my Kardashian journey. So first of all, I want to talk about the Instagram picture that I made. First of all, this is Kendall Jenner's original photo, and then on this side, I'll put my take on it. So as you can see, I did the Polaroids the same in the fact that they're just kind of scattered everywhere, and it also has a darker hue to it. Mine is definitely more cool toned than Kendall Jenner's, which is very warm, but I wanted it to still kind of fit within my Bookstagram theme. So that's why it has a lot of white to it, as well as some doodled lines on the side, just because I still wanted it to be, you know, my aesthetic. But I think it came out really well. I'm pretty happy with it, and I just think it's a really unique post for Bookstagram. I haven't seen any accounts posting Polaroid pictures of their books, so it's really fun to make, and I'm really happy with the result. And now I want to talk about what some of y'all have been commenting about it. So I did post on my Instagram story maybe a week before I started this video that I was starting another secret TBR, and I showed Pretty Little Liars, so I figured that if anyone was going to guess a book, they would know that I was reading Pretty Little Liars. And Brayden did guess that I was reading Pretty Little Liars, so good job, Brayden. Very inquisitive. And then Kirsten just said, I love this. Thank you, Kirsten. I sent it to you before I posted this picture, so thank you for still hyping me up. Naima said, I've been staring at this for 3 minutes and I have zero ideas. Cute fic though, and I was dying laughing at that because I didn't expect anyone to guess it, but I just thought it was so funny that she looked at it for so long and she just didn't know. So thank you for trying, Naima. And then Jess says, I think I know, and she does know because I tell Kirsten and Jess all of my video secrets, so they have intel. But yeah, no one has guessed that I'm reading like a Kardashian. I didn't expect anyone to, but I am pretty happy that someone actually guessed one of the books that I'm reading, so yay, love that. I also posted this to Twitter because now I have a book Twitter and I'm terrified, but if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it is Mare_reads, very different from my Bookstagram, I know, which is Mare.reads, but it was taken on Twitter, so, or I couldn't use a dot. I don't really know the exact reason why it's different, but it is Mare_reads, and I am terrified to be on book Twitter, but you know what, we're vibing, we're here. We're gonna see how this experience actually is, but that's my Instagram update. I might, if I get a few more responses, I might share them on camera as well, but so far it's still pretty mysterious. I still had a lot of fun creating the picture though, so I'm not mad that I did it. And now I want to talk about the Marie Kondo book that I'm reading because I'm about 45% of the way through. I still feel like I'm not learning a whole lot, but I am taking away a few things. And one thing that I really like that the narrator is talking about is that start with things that you have less attachment to first. So if you're going to clear out your entire belongings, start with clothing because you have the least amount of personal attachment to it. And then go along and at the end, get rid of mementos and sentimental objects, because you're going to be thinking to yourself, does this item spark joy when you're cleaning it out? And typically you would find that happens less frequently with clothing, so it's easier to get rid of them. So I think that was an interesting point to make. But overall, I feel like this book is pretty repetitive, and it's only like a 5-hour audiobook, and I feel like she's saying the same exact things over and over again in different ways and with different examples. And that might be helpful to some readers, but personally, if you tell it to me once, I get the point. I don't need you to hone it in 7 more times. So I'm not loving my experience reading it, but I am taking away a few things, and it is a short audiobook, so I'm not upset that I'm reading it. And I can definitely see how Chloe, who is the one who recommended this book, would find it helpful, because it is very informative into how to organize your life. So I'll update you guys when I've actually finished that book. And for now, I'm going to disappear and talk to you later. Hi guys, it's Thursday and I have another update for y'all. I have officially finished The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, so I'll talk about it in just a minute. And then I'm going to launch into my next read, which is going to be The House Guest. Now, I typically don't rate nonfiction, but I think that if I was going to, I would give this book 3 stars. I enjoyed some aspects of this book, but overall, I kind of felt like it was a little bit judgmental, and I don't know if anyone else feels that way about reading this book, but I personally didn't enjoy how materialism was looked at as a bad thing, because yes, maybe we shouldn't be so materialistic in this world and we shouldn't have so many possessions, but I don't think it's a bad thing if someone wants to own possessions. So the idea of just getting rid of stuff just because it doesn't spark enough joy for you didn't really sit well with me. Like, I agree with it to a point, and I think that we should declutter our homes so that we don't constantly have things taking up our space and being in that energy. I just didn't love that element because I don't think it's a bad thing to own things. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. And if it's not a huge amount of joy, but it still brings you some joy, like, I think that's okay. What I took away from this is that you should declutter one area at a time. I did think that was really helpful, and how you should start with things that give you the least amount of friction. So starting off with clothing because it's less likely to spark joy within you, and then moving on to mementos last because that is the most sentimental objects that you'll have. So it did make sense from that standpoint, and I do agree with that process of organizing and decluttering. I also just didn't really like how repetitive this book was. I felt like it was saying the same exact thing over and over again, but in a different way, and using the same example but with a different client, if that makes any sense. So I don't know, I just didn't enjoy my time reading this, but I do feel like I gained a few things from it, and we'll look at my possessions in a different manner this way. I did like how Marie Kondo talked about speaking to your objects as if they have a personality. So like talking to them and thanking them for everything that they do for you. So that was a different take, and something that I do like, because I think that we should be more grateful for everything that goes on in our lives, and we should be putting out more positive energy into the world. So there's some good things about this book. There's some bad things about this book. Do I think it's a necessary read? No. Do I think it's a bad read? No. I think that this is a good example of what a Kardashian would read, because it is a self-help book, and when I was going through the list of all the books that they recommended, they did recommend a lot of self-help and self-growth books, so it definitely fits into that category. And I also liked how it had that focus on organizing and using that organization that you have from decluttering and channeling that into positive energy in the rest of your life. So I think that does really fit Chloe's personality, because she works out. Like, I don't know too much about the Kardashians, but I know that Chloe like changed her life around and she started working out and posting about that a lot. So I think that this book could be used as an example of decluttering your life and then channeling all that energy that you now have into something positive. So overall, it was okay. That's my thoughts. Now I'm excited to get to my last book for this reading vlog, which is going to be The House Guest. And I actually thought this was a poetry collection. I don't know why. Apparently it's not a poetry collection, it's a short story collection. And I'm excited to get through it because it just looks like a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think that this will be a great read. And I'm hoping that this will be my favorite from this reading vlog. I was planning on doing my makeup, but I just don't feel like it, to be honest with y'all. I am not in that mindset. So I might do it tomorrow, but tomorrow's the last day I'm planning on recording for this vlog. So if it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. I did manage to do one Kardashian-esque thing, which was recreate Kendall Jenner's Instagram post. So that was still a lot of fun. I'm just hoping to incorporate more ways of thinking like a Kardashian throughout this week. So hopefully I get to doing my makeup. If I don't, I don't. And I'll talk to you guys about The House Guest next time I see you. Hey guys, happy Friday. I thought that I would sit down with you guys and actually do my makeup like I said I was going to be doing all week. And you know what? It gives me an excuse to look nice for videos that I wanted to film anyways, so we're just gonna be productive and get things done today. But while I did my makeup, I thought that I could talk to you guys about the house guest because I am a little bit over 50% of the way through. The story is really short because, well, it's not really a story. It's a collection of short stories. And so far, what I have to say about it is I don't get it. I don't know if I'm dumb or something, and I just don't understand how great short story horror collections are. But first of all, I'm not even feeling sort of spooked by this. And I thought that that was the point, was to be, you know, spooky and scary. And also, I'm probably gonna traumatize you guys with how I do my makeup because I do it probably in the complete wrong order, and I'm sorry for that. But we're doing things how I want to do them today. And I don't know, I don't quite understand what's going on in any of the short stories. I don't know if it's because of this particular collection or if it's just short stories in general that I just don't get, but I haven't read very many of them. What was I talking about? I can't focus on two things at once. I can't do it. Let me put my eyebrows on, then we can talk about it, and then I'll do my makeup, and then after I finish it, I'll talk to you guys. Okay, so what I don't understand is like, there's not enough time for you to really understand what's going on in the story. Like, it'll take me at least 5 pages for me to get into the story and to understand, okay, who are these characters? What are they doing? What's going on? And then by the time I get there, the story's over, so I don't feel satisfied as a reader. Some of these stories aren't even 5 pages long. Like, there's some that are literally 2 pages. And I don't know, I'm not having a great experience reading it. I don't think it's bad. Like, the writing's pretty good. It's just there's not enough time for me to understand and grasp these concepts. So again, that could just be me being dumb, but I don't know. What is it? Do you read short stories? Can you tell me if I'm just not being insightful enough? Like, I don't know. I am going to finish this before I give y'all any more thoughts on it, but if I don't understand this, how are the Kardashians understanding it? Like, I don't understand. I'm gonna go finish my makeup and then I'll update you guys on the house guest and then we'll wrap up this reading vlog. I hope y'all aren't getting too much side profile. Any side profile is too much side profile for me. Should I be explaining to y'all like what I'm doing? Because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm taking these 3 colors right here, I think. Yeah, I'm taking these 3 in the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. And I'm just, you know, putting it on my eyelid and hoping for the best, so. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I like to layer mascaras. Is that weird? Like, I'll put on one and then I'll put on another one because I think it makes my eyelashes just, you know, pop. All right, so we're done with my makeup today. Here's the final, oh wait, no we're not. I actually have Kylie lip kits, so we can make this even more Kardashian. Let's find like a lip gloss because I really don't like lipstick and yet I have, you know, like 80 billion of them. I had a makeup phase where I watched like all the beauty gurus and I was really into it and now I just don't care. I wake up and it is what it is. All right, so I found a Kylie lip kit lip gloss, which is Coco's. So this is a collaboration between Khloe and Kylie. So we're blending the Kardashian Jenners in this collab with my lipstick or my lip gloss. Now we're done with my makeup and now I'm going to go finish the house guest and I'll let you guys know what I think when I am done. Hey guys, so I've officially finished The House Guest, which was my last book for this reading vlog. So I want to share my thoughts. Unfortunately, I don't understand this book. I don't understand the concepts. And I don't know if that's just because it's flying over my head, because the work was translated, because this is so different from what I typically read. But I didn't have a great time reading this. I wouldn't say my experience was bad. I think if I'm going to rate this, I'll probably give it a 2.5, which is an average rating for me, and round it up to 3. But I just didn't think that this work as a whole was very impactful. I think that some of the short stories were great, but others really left me wanting for more, and I didn't really feel like a lot of the stories had an ultimate conclusion, nor did it really have a strong beginning. You're kind of just thrown into the story, and the author doesn't explain to you why you should care about this story, and then there is an unsatisfying ending to that short story. So overall, I just felt like it wasn't strong collectively, but I did really enjoy two pieces in this entire collection. I really enjoyed the title one, which was The House Guest, and I also really liked this one. I think it's called Tina Reyes. I really liked that one as well. So there were two pieces in here that I felt like I gained something from, but the rest of them was just kind of meh. I think that if I was smarter, I could probably understand more of the themes in here. I, for one, didn't think that this was very horrifying. I think that it's horrifying in the sense of a domestic way, so you're looking at real life situations and how they're scary, and I did like those themes, but I went into this having, I guess, different expectations than what was actually executed. I also feel like there's a lot of commentary on here about gender, because typically you're following a young woman as the main character in the short story, and there's usually some terrible guy doing something to that woman, so that was interesting. But I don't know what the commentary exactly was, so was it effective? Not really. Overall, it was okay, like all the other books that I read for this reading vlog, so let's talk about my experience as a whole. Overall, I think that this experience was really, really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I had a lot of fun recreating an Instagram post from Kendall Jenner, and I really read outside of my comfort zone, which is, I think, the biggest takeaway that I have from this experiment. I never would have probably picked up this book on my own, not because I was disinterested in it, but because it's just so different from what I normally would read. The House Guest is one that was never on my radar before this, and definitely something I wouldn't have picked up on my own. So it was nice to actually pick up a short story collection, because now I'm encouraged to try something else that is a short story collection. Maybe this isn't my thing, but you know what? It's opened my eyes to that selection. And Pretty Little Liars is one that I might have picked up on my own, but more so just for fun. I wouldn't have picked this up unless it was for a video, but I'm glad that I still picked it up because I did have a lot of fun reading it. So out of all these books, I'm gonna say Pretty Little Liars was my favorite. I gave it a 3 stars, so it wasn't bad by any means, but it definitely wasn't great quality for 2020. I think that the second book that I enjoyed the most was the Marie Kondo book, because I still feel like I gained something from it. And then lastly, I'm going to place The House Guest as last for my enjoyment level, not because it was bad, but just because it was so average and I was really confused the entire time. So that is all for this video today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you being here. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.